Welcome to Feminized. It's time for a show that turns the spotlight on the powerful women shaping cannabis culture. The cannabis industry is on fire and women are sparking it up. If you like the show, please subscribe. You can also subscribe to the Feminized podcast with Liz Grow on YouTube and Instagram. The future is feminized. Hey, sis. You're now listening to the Feminized podcast.
Big up. I want to bring up and talk about our next speaking session, which is actually a panel, which is actually a podcast episode of a fantastic podcast called Feminized. Am I right? It's Feminized.
Right, Feminized.
So I'm going to pass it over. I'm not going to talk much. My girl Liz. I told you we smoking, baby. We are smoking ATX. What's up? We got Liz. We got Kim B. We got Sarah. We got Jade. We got my lovely girl here, Miranda. Let's get it. Big up my friends. Taste of Texas Hemp. Let's get it. Feminized. Let's go.
Ooh. All right, ladies. Are we ready to start? Are we sufficiently high? My ladies. Welcome, you guys. I'm so excited to be here tonight with these badass women of cannabis. Yeah. Some of you know that I have a podcast called Feminized with Liz Grow, where I get to talk to the dopest women in the cannabis game, the women who are pushing the envelope, the women who are taking a stand, the women who are creating companies, the women who are nurturing their communities with their cultivation. Y'all heard Ranchero Mommy earlier, Sue Carrollton. I just want to give it up for her. But tonight, what I want to do is give you guys just a little sneak peek into what it's like doing Feminized. I get to talk to these amazing women, and I really get to dig into how they became successful and the lessons that they learn along the way. So I am going to ask each and every one of these bad bitches what your biggest win is in the cannabis industry to date, and what is your biggest hell? What was that time when you were like, whoa, rug got pulled out from under me and I broke my ass in the process? You know, it's all about learning from each other. So first, I'm going to start all the way on the other end of the panel with Miranda Macy. Miranda Macy is the Chief Innovation Officer of Creature Flora. It's a brand new cannabis brand. It is a premium cannabis brand, and I'll let Miranda tell you a little bit more about Creature Flora. So, thank you.
Yeah, we were going to start with a little background on Creature Flora.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Creature Flora is it's really a wellness brand, but most importantly and at the forefront of this wellness brand is Creature Flora in Oklahoma, where we are a commercial cannabis cultivation operation in southern Oklahoma. So your neighbors to the north here in Texas. And the CEO of our company is actually from Houston. So don't worry, we're bridging the gap here, okay? I know there's some rivalry between Oklahoma and Texas, but we're all friends here, all right?
Well, thank you for being here and being a sponsor of the Taste of Texas Hemp Cup. You know,
Absolutely.
Creature Flora is a VIP sponsor, you guys. So you definitely want to get in there and check that out. But seriously, you know, there is a little rivalry between Texas and Oklahoma. A lot of people like to hate on Texas. And so it really means a lot that you are here, right, in this market. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. Tell me, what was your biggest loss to date in cannabis? Give me the raw story.
Yeah, so when you first, brought up that this was kind of the burning questions that we were going to be doing at this panel, it took me a minute to think about one specific situation, but I think that our biggest loss or lesson, as I like to call it, no losses here, only lessons, is time. Time was our biggest hurdle, and it just took us twice the amount, if not more, of time than when we thought we were going to take to actually get up and running, to actually be compliant, to actually be able to be on the shelves. And I think that oftentimes that was physically and mentally draining and exhausting and also defeating. And I think that when you come from this as an entrepreneur and time isn't on your side, as it often feels like it is not, how are you overcoming that? How are you figuring out how to overcompensate for that, how are you figuring out how to overcome that is really how you succeed as a business. So I know that might be a generic answer, but for us at Creature Flora, time was our biggest loss. And once we were able to really get going, which I'll talk about that in our win, I think that it also can be your greatest tool as well.
Yes, amen. It's all about resilience. And what I find is that, certainly this industry is so fucking hard. It's an uphill battle, especially in Texas, where we are fighting to sell smokable hemp flower with our government and this bullshit. So I think that's you bring up a really great point. A lot of people in Texas are suffering from that time. So we'll get to your win in a minute. Before I want the losses first.
That's what I thought.
Come on, get it fucking out there on the table. But before we get to the next loss, I do want to give a shout out to My Bud Vase and Doreen Sullivan, woman-owned company. These beautiful bongs that you see here on stage, they look like vases. They make the best Mother's Day gifts. Who's your mommy? I am, send me one. And I really think that it's all about being about promoting women in cannabis. If you really want to see it happen, buy some stuff. So, speaking of buy some stuff, I'm really excited to introduce you to Miss Jade Daniels, next phenomenal dope female on the panel. Jade is a co-founder of Girlfriend Distro. You may see their logo on various banners. They're a gold sponsor of the Taste of Texas Hemp Cup and a third-year sponsor of the Taste of Texas Hemp Cup. Jade. Okay, so I have so much respect for you. You are a Texas woman. Tell us a little bit about your story, and then tell us what your biggest L was.
So I'm from Houston. I graduated from University of Houston. I moved to Oregon in 2015 to open up dispensaries. So we opened up our first dispensary the day that recreational sales went legal in Oregon. And so coming from, my background has been in hospitality, and I work for restaurant groups. And so I really brought all of that into running a dispensary. And so our dispensaries
It was like a stare off.
What do I do here? So I really dove into dispensary world and on the retail front of that, and then launched a pre-roll company called Lady J's in 2017.
Smoke Lady J's.
Prior to that, my company, Ladies in Paradise, is a creative agency, and we worked with a lot of cannabis clients. We threw a lot of cannabis events, consumption events, and in building that, we created so many relationships with farmers, growers, extraction, people doing extraction, gummies. We needed something for everybody, and so we really built a network, creating these events and then building community. I met Liz at the Fairchild event in Las Vegas when we sponsored that, and really related on a culture, on doing this for the good of the community and for the culture and for the medicine. So with that, I would say, losses, in this industry, if you're in this industry, you know that there are just tons of ups and downs and operating in the gray area. We've had our bank, in my company, we don't hold a license, we don't hold a cannabis license, we only do partnerships and we work with cannabis brands. And so, but when they're paying us for marketing, we get flagged as a cannabis company. So we've had our Chase Bank, all of even my personal accounts, my United card, everything, I had all my banks cut off, just for even working as a marketing company with cannabis brands. And so, having to go through those, it was oh shit, we gotta be, having to struggle and figure out what to do next. Payment processors, Square, we got kicked off of Square and then blacklisted from Square, and then turns out a year later Square launched a CBD program, but we were already blacklisted from selling CBD for the year before. So they wouldn't even let us on. We had to create a new LLC to get back into Square, and just operating through all of those struggles really builds, for the people who are still doing it, from when we got started, it's we're pioneers in this industry, and that's how I feel about cannabis too, or with Texas too, and what's going on here. Also, I would say a loss or something that we struggled with was we started Lady J's on the recreational market doing THC joints. in 2017, which we went rec in 2015. So 2017 was like the biggest like crash. You know, the market goes through like ups and downs. Right now, it's kind of it's kind of bad. It's picking back up in Oregon. But we started our company when flower prices were at an all-time low. And so, so we created this brand, and like the pre-roll brand, the pre-roll brand works great when you own the farm and then when you're supplying your own flower. But when you're a partner with somebody, and then we did so many marketing trades, like, hey, we'll come out to your farm and we'll shoot video and content if you can give us buds for $200 a pound. You know what I mean? And we created and we're just grassroots company. We haven't taken outside investment, and so. So we would rely on these partnerships, and then with that, it creates inconsistency, like when you have to work with another farm, and then one of them's outdoor and one of them's depth, and then now we partnered with an indoor farm, and just kind of navigating, that, and like starting Lady J's when the flower prices were all-time low. It really created a struggle when prices started to go up, and then we created our brand and our pricing based on like the margins of the all-time low market. And so just like fluctuating and operating, I would say, as a marketing company in a cannabis space has been the biggest struggle.
Yeah. Wow, well said. You've had so much experience. I mean, you've been in the industry for almost a decade and like been on the bleeding edge of it. So it's been really fun to watch your career trajectory, I think, with brands and branding, and then now to represent a house of brands. I mean, that's essentially what Girlfriend Distribution is.
So with Girlfriend, Girlfriend is my new distribution company, and I listened to a podcast where the big takeaway, she said, as a first-time founder, I focused on products. As a second-time founder, I focused on distribution, right? And because we can create this brands, and my company, we're good at making things look cool and make people feel invited, and that it's a part of everybody, and we can create these brands, but if you don't have the funnels and the supply chain to actually get your product to market, you're in trouble, because a cool brand can sit there, but unless you have the resources to actually get it in the hands of people and those sales channels, it doesn't work.
Real talk. Yes, thank you for sharing that, Jade. Speaking of real talk, my next friend that I'm going to introduce you to, or reintroduce you to, you probably already know her. This is Kim B, the cannabis boss from New York City. Yes, let's give Kim a round of applause. Yes, Kim came to the Taste of Texas Hemp Cup last year because she's like, yo sis, what's going on in Texas? I knew Kim through, I think the CWCBE connection, and the most amazing brand is Tokes. I failed to mention Kim is the co-founder of Tokes. Great cannabis products, but also skincare. Hello. So then that's why I love her, that freaking pumpkin mask. But she wanted to know what was going on in Texas, so she came to see for herself. She came to talk to the farmers and see what was going on. So Kim, I'm excited for you to talk a little bit about what you're doing now, what's happening in the New York market, and how you are a key player in it. And then tell us about Allah's, baby.
Texas. I fucks with y'all. That's why I'm back. And it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me back into your state. One of the hardest prohibition states in all 50 of them. I still smuggled in a half ounce of weed. Fuck it, right?
Thank you.
I want to shout out all my friends in Texas who I have met along the way. Nini, I adore you. You are a special human, and the reason I come back is because I feel so loved. I also like to shout out my roommates, which is Joy Becks, Joy Beckerman.
J Becks.
Dan here. Miranda over here.
Hi.
Actually, you're not staying with us, but it feels like you are. Jade.
No.
I might.
Susanna.
Yes.
Who else is staying?
God, I mean, it's like so many people came in from out
We
of
got
town.
this, like,
We got
awesome-
Estelle from Fairchild. Where are you, Estelle?
Yeah, where's
my
Estelle?
God, it's like a hemp sorority,
And
with
so-
Dan here as like the sorority mom.
And of
But he's like
course,
wearing a wig, trying to convince us he's the mom, and we're like, there's something about you that's not so womanly.
and we have this dope house with a jacuzzi, which I late night got a little naked and slid right in there.
Hey!
So anyway,
Thank you.
but thank you so much for having me back. And you know, the reason why I'm here, and I get invited to a lot of events. In fact, this weekend, the Emerald Cup. And one of my friends said, "Why are you going to Texas? Come to the Emerald Cup." I said, "The Emerald Cup don't need me. The Emerald Cup does not need me.
Yes.
Texas needs me.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
we legalized it in my home state of New York. And now we're pushing the movement to make sure that the legislators do it the right way. And I love our OCM, but our government is some sneaky motherfuckers. So we are watching every move that they make. And
Yes.
so I come here to lead by example. I co-founded Tokes in 2017. I met my business partner, Deja Lee, at a Women Grow event. And Tokes is a vaping company. I sell weed on the internet and the USPS delivers it for me. And so our specialties are vapes and gummies, and we are opening our own hemp processing facility in New York City, and hashtag Made in Manhattan by an all-woman team. And we didn't take a single fucking dollar from anyone. We bootstrapped up to over $2 million a year. Next year we will do $3 million in revenue, if not more. And we are expanding our brand to 7 states into the adult use market, including my home state of New York, and my business partner's home state of Massachusetts, and her husband's home state of New Jersey. And we are fucking beyond excited. And the reason why we stand in such a high place is the support of our community and our undying devotion to quality. And so I am here to tell you that you can push the movement here in Texas. And it's tedious, but it's not hard actually. It's just long standing. And so we're here long term. Shout out to Liz Grow and Patrick Hope because they are having a sesh in Texas, and that is pretty fucking amazing. This is a huge, this is like, sorry, I'm getting a little choked up. This is a monumental thing. Thank you for everything that you do. Badass women. We need more melanated women. We need more people giving women money if we need it, if we ask for it, and on better terms. So Texas, I am here for you. I am a resource. I'm coming from New York, but when I come here, I put my Lone Star hat on and I come as your friend.
Yay! Oh my God, we love you. You're an honorary Texan. You are an honorary Texan. Can we always say this? Maybe after tonight you'll be a full-blood Texan. I don't know. I don't know what it takes, but so thank you for those kind words. And I'm so excited that I get to introduce my last panel guest of the evening, Miss Sarah Kerver. Because without Sarah Kerver, 1937 Apothecary, Custom Botanical Dispensary, and all of the other myriad businesses that you are in, and you are in deep, we would not be here today. So Sarah Kerver is a co-founder of the Taste of Texas Hemp Cup. She called Patrick and I, called Patrick and I 3 years ago and was like, all right, y'all. So we all love hemp. What can we do for our farmers? And we're like, oh my God, we're dying to do something for our farmers. And with a partner like you, we can see it. And you guys are sitting here in the 3rd year of this dream that we had. 3rd year. So Sarah, talk to us about what you are into now, what's exciting, and give me a loss. Give me an L.
Can I start with my L?
Hell yeah,
I'll start with my L, I feel like. It is an L, but I don't think it's always gonna be an L. And that is trying to create a sustainable cannabis business in the state of Texas.
Yes. Oh
Like,
my God.
that is my L. It has been a very interesting adventure for the last several years. But it has gotten better every year. Every year has gotten better. And I will say on that note that because it is all political and it is politically driven, we have to remember that we are about to go into session in a month. And if, people are like, well, how can we're tired of this, how can we legalize it? How can we get something moving in Texas more than it is? All of the lovely stuff that you guys are all enjoying, all these, D9 gummies that are legal in Texas, all these beautiful...
I heard there were D9 slushies over there.
I mean, yes, like all of this delicious, wonderful stuff that's being done, all the hash rosin, all of this stuff. I just want to let everybody know that there's some bills that are being introduced and could easily make it all go away. And I certainly do not want this to be the last Taste of Texas Hemp Cup. I want this to be the third, and then we have the fourth and fifth and sixth and so on. So it's really important for the community to understand that we can all have too much of a loss, and none of us want that. So session starts in a month. Do whatever you can. Follow Grow House, and I know that you guys are going to be actively involved in this year's session.
Hell yes.
And send those letters. Sometimes I feel like our voice doesn't get heard. I mean, that's the truth. But when you keep knocking and knock hard enough, or sue the state of Texas. I did that.
She did that.
I did that.
Is that your win?
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
It was win, but then it was also a loss because we did lose in the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
But I'm still here, and that's another win.
Oh,
so and I'm still going. So that's my biggest thing for everybody. I own a brand, 1937 Apothecary. I've got a couple little sweet dispensaries in Austin.
Yes.
I have supported, that my ethos from the very beginning was to support Texas. So in our stores, I only carry Texas brands.
Thank
that is
you.
it.
Yes.
And I know that there are amazing brands that are not in Texas. And believe me, I am very well aware of that. But in order to really stay true to what I have said, I have never deviated from that. And I only carry Texas brands in our stores.
Yes. And we're here at the Taste of Texas Hemp Cup.
Yes, the Taste of Texas
one
Hemp
of your
Cup.
brainchilds, three children.
Yes, one of my many children, because it is a family business, right?
It is.
So, Taste of Texas, I am so happy to see the growth year after year. Thank you all so much for coming and supporting this with us.
Yes.
In 2020 was just, it was 2020. We don't even have to deep dive into 2020. But I was concerned, and I was concerned about the Texas growers. I was concerned because they had devoted so much money and energy and livelihood into their very first grow in Texas, and to not be able to share that with the community because our community was shut down. And I was heartbroken.
You were.
I get emotional.
I know you do. We cried at coffee.
I know we did.
Dad and I were crying over hemp.
We cried over hemp and coffee in 2020.
It's great. Patrick was there. You cried too.
And I don't even grow because I can't. Because I admire all of the growers out there. And I like kill aloe vera, okay? Like that's my intent of growing, all right? Like the hardest plant to kill.
So you sell flowers.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. But to be able, and I met with Liz and Patrick, and we wanted to bring this, and so I'm just so happy that you all are out here and that we're still going strong, and that we have lovely panels and ladies, and I mean,
gents. We've got some panels coming up that are here.
Yes,
Very
some
exciting.
amazing people in this entire community supporting Texas. It is so wonderful to see Texas supporting Texas and out of Texas supporting Texas. So I really thank you all for coming in from out of state too. It's very amazing and wonderful. So I don't know what else to say. I could talk to you guys for like 3 hours.
But that's okay. It's my job to wrap it up. No, because we've got Joy Beckerman coming up next. And let me tell you, if you didn't know how to approach us before, and you didn't, she's about to teach you. She's about to teach Texans how to stand up. So another bad B of the industry. But I want to hear about those wins. I also want to light up. Can we get a smoke?
Yeah.
Can we light up some creature flora? And I want to hear about your win. Give me what your win is, okay? And while we're lighting up, I want to thank Greenleaf. If you guys haven't been to the Dab Lounge already, get to the Dab Lounge. After this, get there. You'll have a little bit of time before Joy. And Greenleaf is an incredible partner of ours. They're a great dispensary in New Braunfels, Texas. You can also go on Greenleaf online. Michael and Yvonne gifted me with this beautiful elephant pendant this morning that it just so happens to match my dress, but they're into glass. And you can go and judge the best Texas hemp concentrate in the lounge. And I'm just gonna stop there because I wanna hear, Miranda, tell me about your win.
Okay, I think our biggest win at Creature Flora would be the launch of Creature Flora, and which happens at the end of October. And I think that the reason why that is our biggest win is because of the amount of community that we had involved in our launch. I think that the more that we asked other people and other brands and other awesome corners of this space to be involved in our company's brand launch, the cooler that was, and the more successful that was, and the more opportunity for, ownership and autonomy and like what that looked like from other people, asking other people for their opinions and how they want to show up. It was really an amazing intersection of cannabis and art, and cannabis and community, and cannabis and love. And that was very palpable from beginning to end for our brand launch. And it really set us off on the right trajectory of just wanting to continue to do that. And I think it also put us as a brand in a position of other people seeing that and being like, well, they had a shit ton of people involved at that event or at that function or throughout their brand launch. So I want to see, how we can collaborate and that's what I want. So just a little shout out. If you want to talk about, what we can do together in the cannabis space, in the hemp space, in the community space, I'm all fucking ears. So I think that, there's no room for gatekeeping. There's no room to act like, you're holier than thou in cannabis and hemp. I think that there's so much to uncover. There's so much work to do. I think that there's so much that has been done with legacy, and I think that it's so fucking important to remember that and respect that. But then I also think, let's be as inclusive as possible moving forward, to women, to people of color, to everybody. That's why we went with Creature Flora, because it's plants for all creatures. Whatever that looks like, baby, it's plants for all creatures, because we believe all creatures should have access to plants that feel good.
Shout out to Creature Flora. They are sponsoring the VIP, and they're actually Grow House Media clients. So thank you. We got to shoot their launch, and it was super exciting. So talk about women supporting women. Thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Jade, baby, give me a win.
I mean, I'll piggyback that, women supporting women, and about, creating a community-based brand. I think that the biggest win for us is creating authenticity in your branding. in this industry, you know, we saw a lot of big corporate dollars come in and create these brands, and they didn't know anything about cannabis. They didn't even smoke weed, you know, and so creating an authentic brand that people relate to has been our biggest win, because it just translates with our events, with you know, doing things like this and speaking to the community, and just creating a vibe.
I got a vibe.
So my biggest win is that authenticity.
Get it, girl. Get it, girl.
Yes.
All right, Sarah.
I would say for me, biggest win is the growth within this community, within the women in this community, within my company has grown tenfold, like honestly, and especially within the last year, we have ramped up manufacturing like no. And I mean, we're talking bootstrap, okay? I'm like, we are grassroots bootstrap, family business. My daughter, who, by the way, just finished, Lena, I'm shouting you out right now, yesterday, finished the University of Texas, 4 years. Like she is done graduating. Yes, so all while working with me and being part of the business. So, you know, just the community growing, business growing, supporting the Texans. You know, we've had some L's, but just the relationships and every part of everything that I'm like, I feel like I'm winning every day. Yes. Like I got nothing bad to say, really. I feel like, and I don't want that to be taken away. That's why I'm like, I feel right now I'm winning every day. And that's really from the support of everybody, all male and female alike. But, you know, I love my ladies.
Yeah. Yes, who doesn't? All right, Kim.
So I don't know if I gave an L before, but there are 2 parts, and it's very, very quick. One is poor, shitty ass banking legislation and getting fucking everything, like Jade said, shut down. And when you're doing $2 million a year in sales and you get shut down for a week, it's fucking devastating. And then being in New York, a huge loss is all of our Black and brown friends being persecuted for cannabis and beyond, and serving time in jail, still in jail. And one of the things that's most important and near and dear to my heart is getting people out of jail.
Yes.
Getting people out of legal trouble because of cannabis. And that's not just our melanated friends, that's everybody.
Yes.
You know, but in New York, the persecution of Black and brown people the numbers tell the story there. Biggest win is choosing not to take money, not to take investment money. And it sounds scary and hard. It's not. It's just taking a strategy and putting into place, which can be a little tedious, and you might not make all the right decisions, but you can. And there are ways to grow your company without taking money. And I really want to let people know that you don't have to start big. You just have to start. We started with 1 battery. You know, and now we have 30 different SKUs and 60 different vape formulations that we made in-house. And without taking funding, there was some creative things that we did. But it is possible, guys. If you're interested in being part of the industry, there's a place for you.
Yes.
And you don't have to have big capital to do that. And the best way to do it is to lead with love.
Yes.
If you are good, then you will be good.
Yes.
So get out there, be kind, advocate in a friendly way. Those of you like, I want to shout out Erin Boyd, because that's Liz's best friend since like 8th grade. They used to cheerlead together.
I love you, Mom.
But Erin is not in the cannabis industry, but she supports the cannabis industry. We need more support. Get your friends that are in banking and in insurance and in corporate America and give them a call and tell them we need to start breaking the stigma there. And so we all have the power to start, and we all have the power to peacefully, and Joy is going to teach about how to do this, to protest and break stigmas and help get people out of jail and stop taking money from white men in suits that are predatory, and taking control of our industry through the lens of love.
Oh my God, amen. Yes, my sisters, I'm just so grateful that you came to this event, that you have given so generously of your resources, and that most importantly, you opened up your hearts and your minds and your knowledge base to us, to everyone, not just the women. But, you inspire us to do better and be better within this industry. You show us that we can win. So thank you guys so much for that. I will close briefly on my win is Feminized. My win is Feminized. It's my passion, and yes, we do a lot of other things, but I'm just so in love with this project and being able to only talk to women and provide a platform to amazing, strong women. So that's my win, and I think my loss, just to piggyback on Kim B, is that we're still arresting people in Texas right here and now for weed, for flour, for a vape cartridge, can give you a felony, can ruin your life. We're breaking up families. It's a human rights thing in Texas, and I take that very personally. So that is a loss. And I hope that this year we can fucking rally the troops. Keep going, take a lead from my girls here and go. So I think that it's Troy Beckerman next, you guys, okay? Stay where you are, because we're about to make some fucking change. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
If you'd like more, subscribe to the Feminized podcast on YouTube. Follow at Feminized with Liz Grow on Instagram. Special thanks to our sponsors Moose Labs and Richard's Rainwater. Feminized Podcast is a Grow House Media production, created by Liz Grow, produced by Patrick Pope and Tanis Ray, with original theme music and audio mixing by Q at Q to King Productions in New Braunfels, Texas.